don't even think I'd play much on there. I think honestly, I probably wouldn't play games on my PC.
I mean, you don't really play much.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I don't. Not
So,
anymore. I think
like-
neither of us have really been playing that much. Period.
Only
just been,
this weekend I booted up League for like 1 or 2 games, and then I was like, well, I'm done now.
Yeah, I've just kind of lost the. I've got the urge back to play, but like not. I feel like as soon as I start the game, I'm just gonna want to turn it off again.
So you don't have the urge to play.
No, but I have the urge to play, but I'm almost can see in the future where I'm like, I have the urge to play, but I know that I'm gonna lose it pretty quickly.
You're preemptively acting on the fact that you're gonna lose interest.
Yeah,
at some
exactly.
point.
I'm like,
That's
but it's not gonna be a 6-hour gaming session, so I don't want it. You know, like,
That is crazy.
yeah, you know, that's the type of like vigor and passion I'm looking to get back into gaming, but I
see.
don't have that right now. So
I think I've lost it a bit as well. For me, I think it's like completely gone for the most part. I used to, for the record, game pretty much every single day for like minimum 5 hours.
this guy was on incel levels of gaming.
Yeah,
know?
you could call me, a league sucker.
A roach. Oh,
Yeah, roach.
I don't,
Yeah, I saw league rat. Like gym rat league. Rat.
yeah. That's what I was going for. Yeah, but I don't want to say rat.
I was a
though.
league rat. I was addicted to that shit. It was crack for me. But not anymore. I don't
Japan
know.
changed him. That's what happened.
I even
happened
before
after
Japan, I
Japan.
like slowed down how much I was playing. Like I usually played with my friend and his brother, and I just not hit either of them up to play.
Fair enough.
Like we just haven't touched base, and I lost all drive to play the game. And
I mean, you must still keep up. Though.
well, yeah, I talked to them outside of the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
but beyond that, like our regular day-to-day conversations
Yeah.
would be while playing League,
I
like
see,
while
I
we're
see,
on
I see, I
Discord.
see, yeah,
but now
yeah.
that doesn't happen, so it's kind of like a weekly thing where I'll just
Yeah.
message him and then catch up, like briefly.
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
won't be a
yeah.
full rundown of like, hey, what are you up to?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit
yeah.
like that, which is
Shit,
new.
Is that what life becomes when you start to move away from your friends?
I don't know. I think so. Because for the longest time, this friend, I've basically lived with him for the past 5 years
Yeah.
before this. And he used to be our third roommate. And now that it's not even a significant amount of distance. Bro just lives in London.
He lives in London. Yeah.
It's like,
but it is quite. It's not as accessible as you'd like. Because
Sure.
like he's not living down there. Because he was here before.
Yeah.
And London is okay. When he says it's not that far, bro does not like to leave the house. Like
Yeah, no.
So
As in terms of like even time difference.
yeah.
Like
that's
friends that
true.
live in different countries, you're obviously going to grow apart because of the distance.
Yeah.
But here it's like, he's
Well,
free
to-
at the
to-
same time I am.
To be fair, like even my friends who live a 10-minute drive or a 10-minute bus away from me, I don't see them as much as I used to, you know?
Yeah, true.
And that is just a thing of we just have our lives of just we just have things going on in our personal lives which makes it harder to see them. And I guess it's a true test to see whether your friendships will last at this age if you're able to maintain them even with the distance, right?
Yeah. I think you got to put effort in.
Yeah,
You can't-
that is something I've learned. You do have to hit people up and say, "Hey, let's hang out.
I
Let's
hate
do
that
something."
shit.
Me too, man. Me too. Yeah.
No offense to anyone, but I find that shit corny. It's
Bro,
a bit
that is
toxic.
so
It's-
exclusive to you.
It's
That
so
is
it's a very
exclu-
toxic mindset.
You're so weird for that.
It's a toxic mindset, but I
And it
find
just
hitting your
bothers
friends up
me
is
that,
corny.
like, if we ever move away from each other,
Yeah.
that you will just not hit me up.
But the thing is, you think the same way.
no, bro.
Okay, then why
I
don't
mean,
you hit your friends up?
Yeah, okay, a little bit. I think it's corny, but
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
also, I'm
Exactly.
not good at planning things, and I'm not good at
No,
like.
you don't need to plan. You could just be like, "Yo, let's meet at this location."
That
And
is
that's
a
it.
plan, bro.
That's
Like-
you're literally telling them to
That's
meet
true.
at a place.
That's true. Yeah, I don't like being the person to plan. People have always planned things and involve me, and now I got to do it.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility, you know.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of aura loss, in my opinion. Right?
That's you, bro.
No,
I
what
don't
the
relate
fuck?
to that at all. Like,
It kind of is.
it doesn't
'cause,
feel like
you
aura
know,
lost. Like,
this whole time you've been the guy that people want around, so they keep hitting you up.
fucking guy, bro.
And then all of a sudden the dynamics change, and now you gotta fucking hit them
have
up
the
too.
biggest main character syndrome out of the both of us.
No,
which is
I'm
crazy
serious,
because
I'm
I
serious.
thought I did.
I'm not even fucking around. This is like I'm being for real. This some part of what I'm saying is
That's
actually part of my
wild, bro.
psychology.
You have problems, bro.
I do. I'll admit it's a toxic mindset to have. So
And I know your
I'm
ass
looking
also.
to change.
Also, if people don't end up hitting you up, your ass will be sad. Your ass will be a little bit like, man, why aren't we hanging out? Like
Initially, yeah.
this fucking guy, bro.
Initially, it will be, but then it's like a thing of I won't be sad right away. It's like if a lot of time passes and we still haven't somehow
bro.
because the thing is like I'm not the type to just completely ignore them.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah,
message them and talk
yeah,
to them. But
yeah.
in terms of making plans, this is exclusive to making plans
that's true.
and hanging out. So that part, if the other person doesn't do it for like months and months on end, then I'll be like, okay, we've been talking, but like nothing. We're not planning shit.
Yeah.
You know what's happening?
What do you mean we're?
Oh, sorry,
maybe,
you're not planning
maybe
shit.
I should hit him up.
You're not planning shit. Yeah. But no, I've been making an active effort to combat that. So my initial step into this category is like throwing bones out there. Just be like,
What the
yo, I'm free this weekend. You know?
That's so crazy.
And then it's like, oh shit,
I'm
free.
free this weekend. Now the ball's in your court.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What about you?
You're like a girl playing
When are
hard to
you
get.
free? That's what I'm
You
doing.
literally
Yeah.
are, bro.
I literally learned it from girls.
That's
This
crazy.
is the tactic they deployed on me, so I'm just using it, you know. But yeah, you got to start making initiative.
You do.
It's tough, but
yeah.
I think most people get around it.
I realize
pretty
though, but like because even in the same house,
easily. Yeah.
I could so see us just not interacting with each other for like a long while,
How long is a long
like
while?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? No, that's impossible.
2 weeks? You think?
I don't think so.
I
don't
mean,
think so.
maybe you'd message me here being like, "Oh, the dishes," you know, like some shit,
I'll hit you up to
to clean the dishes or something, you know.
do
But like,
the errands.
maybe that's what I'll do. I'll leave the dishes out one day. I'll be like, maybe you'll message me.
So you're doing the girlfriend tactic on me.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
he'll hit me up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I
you
see
do,
your-
you
I
do.
see your long game.
But you never
haul.
hit me up with being like, "Oh, do you just want to hang out?" You know?
That's true, but for me, it's like in my head, I just think like it'll be a natural thing that.
Oh
just
yeah,
happens.
it does because we live in the same place.
Yeah,
we will.
and that's
But
why
I'm-
I think
but
2
I'm-
weeks is like a
But
long
I'm
time
wondering,
to not.
I'm wondering if we actually lived apart from each other, would you ever hit me up to hang out? Would you ever make it outside of the podcast? Would
Yeah.
this podcast become like, oh, we just hang out to do our job?
Okay.
You know?
Think about it when we were doing the podcast out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
Did we ever hang out outside of meeting?
No. No, we didn't. No, but
Yeah.
because we used it as like we'd do the podcast and then we'd do something afterwards.
Yes. Yes. But I think that's still meeting up under the pretext of doing the podcast. You know?
Yeah, but
It
do you
kinda
know
is
what-
like two bird, one stone
Do you
type
know
of-
what it was
type
though?
shit.
I feel like before the podcast, we would have only seen each other periodically. We wouldn't have seen
Yeah.
each other every week.
Yeah.
We would have seen each other periodically,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have just been, you know, we were just close like that. That's how our friendship worked, right? But like the podcast made us see each other more often, you know. So I think in a way the podcast did bring us a bit closer because we were seeing each other more often.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, there's this level of closeness we have. That's a new thing to maintain that we've only been able to do because we're living together and we have a podcast.
Yeah.
So how do we
How do
do
we-
that outside of that?
How do we carry it forward?
without hitting each other up? You know?
Oh, right.
You know.
Okay, so we still don't wanna hit
protect-
each other
How
up.
do we protect the aura? You know, and then we still.
That's true. I think that's why we reached that conclusion of let's hang out after the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like a healthy balance. We keep the
Yeah,
aura,
yeah.
but we get to hang out.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
every
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
more than
We
we
should
used
just
to be
never
before.
end it.
What?
We should just never end the podcast.
So
and
we
just
always have a reason to hang
We
out?
always have a reason. So
Yeah.
at one point, it just doesn't become like, if it doesn't take off and we both understand that,
Yeah.
we just get on with our lives, but we
just
just
like-
do it every week.
Yeah. we're like married with 2 kids,
Yeah,
or
we just
no,
we
no
just
kids,
record and we just never put it out.
yeah. The wife's like, "Yo, where are you going?"
I'll
It's
record
like,
the podcast.
yeah, just going to the studio. You know
buy
what
out
it
a
is.
whole. We never put out any content. We just buy out a place just to hang out. Like,
Yes. Oh my god.
That'd
Little
be
man
crazy.
cave.
that would be pretty sick.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Have a little office space to.
If
fuck
this takes
around.
off, that's something I would want to do. Is I just want to have my own space where we can just do our own shit. Like the podcast space, there'd be a space where we have our own little
Yeah.
creative area for our own hobbies and our own.
You know, the thing
Bullshit, you
is
know?
like that kind of shit just doesn't really exist here.
It doesn't. Yeah, there's no like studio spaces where you can. In London, there's a lot, but then that's only for rent. If you want to buy something, you got to be like a millionaire.
Yeah.
So-
I think most people lease it out anyway as like a business once they like
Yeah.
established.
Yeah.
Yeah, owning a place a bit harder, but that would be cool. Like
would
have
be,
our
yeah.
little studio area, have a
Yeah.
little desk area to do shit afterwards, edit,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
We got to have
It'd
like
be cool. It'd be
8K a month coming in.
8K a month.
But it's crazy though.
That's heavy.
3K a month.
That's a heavy amount.
It is. But 3K a month if he wanted.
Yeah.
All we'd need is 3,000 people to just agree to pay us £1 a month.
That's a fuck ton of people.
That's a lot of people. But then
That's
if you
a
think
fuck ton of
about in the large scale of things, of
Yes.
like there being what a million. There's a million people within like a 10-mile radius of us.
Yeah.
1,000 of them.
We sound
just
like that.
agreeing to pay us £1.
What's the? There was a girl, something Vader, who was like on stream just saying like, you guys really can't just afford $1 a month, you know?
Here's the deal. It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing. Because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution.
this is what we sound like.
It's not like that. I'm not
If
saying
3,000 of you motherfuckers
Yeah,
can't pay $1 to us, come on now. Like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
are you doing here?
It. I'm not trying to sound like that.
I know,
What
I
I'm
know.
trying to say is like, I'm not saying, oh, you can't give it to us. I'm saying all we have to do is we have to convince you guys to just give us £1 a month. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that is
We need
true.
to provide you enough value to give us £1 a month.
Yeah.
And I think that is a lot easier said than done. But it feels like a reachable goal. You know, it feels
In
like
the
a
grand
reachable
scheme
goal.
of things, the number 3,000 looks small.
Yeah.
You know, but when you think about 3,000 people even watching our video,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's like it's a big thing.
that's a big thing.
I mean, we get hyped if we get past 50 views.
Exactly.
you know,
No,
like
which hasn't happened. So
Yeah.
where the fuck are you guys going?
yeah, where are
know?
you? What happened? Why have
I'm
you
a
guys
bit,
left? We're back.
confusion.
We're here. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Hop back on. But hanging out, yeah, I think I'd hit you up.
I
If
think
we-
I would
if
hit
we
you up,
moved
yeah.
apart
Yeah.
outside of the podcast. I would. But the thing is, like, I know both of us are the type of people to not want to go outside.
Yeah, that's true. I'd
know,
probably
to,
just
like,
be like
do
do
an
you just,
activity
You just
especially.
want to play Rivals. That's
Yeah,
why
exactly. We'd hop on, call, and
that is
just
how
play.
we'd hang out when we were younger. We'd
Yeah,
be
that
like,
was
let's
our-
play Destiny. We wouldn't actually meet up.
Yes, I think we met up at the same frequency. Like, we
Yeah.
would play Destiny and talk online a lot.
yeah.
But in-person meetings would be like once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
Less
think
than
it'd be less than that. It'd be like once every 2-3 weeks. we'd
yeah,
meet
when
up,
we
yeah.
have like gossip.
Yeah.
When accumulated
it
months
literally,
worth of gossip.
and then we'd just hang out and we'd just be like, all right, I'll see you.
It would just be like 1 3-4 hour session where we're just
Yeah.
walking around and
Yeah,
yapping,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
just
And then
like,
we
all
just,
right,
yeah,
see
they
you
go
later,
home.
bro.
Yeah, that'd be fucking
I
wild.
can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you on Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we know how to like maintain a balance.
I think so. I think
In
we've
our-
reached a point where I just don't think I wouldn't hang out with you.
Yeah, no.
I think my toxic trait is thinking I'll wait for you to hit me up just for confirmation that you still like me.
Oh, I see.
That's my toxic trait.
Okay,
for
okay.
sure. That's what that's my my thing that in order to maintain my aura, I will wait for them to just. I'm gonna need some reassurance.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
you're gonna have to approach me first.
All right, I
that's
see.
my toxic thing that I need
I
to work
see.
on. That just let it go. And if you want someone in your life, you gotta make the effort to yourself to reach out to them. So
Exactly.
you know, learn from. Don't make our mistakes. You know,
No.
we're doing absolutely fine. But
Hey,
don't make
yeah,
our
we're
mistakes.
chilling, and
Yeah.
we don't have a single thing that's wrong with us.
Yeah,
but
but-
anyone that has our mindset
Yeah, don't do
Change
that.
it.
Yeah,
ASAP.
yeah.
No, I've been making an effort. Like even the friend I was talking about earlier, the league friend, I'm message him here and there saying like, "Yo, you wanna hang out?" I did that after I came back from Japan. I was
And
like,
you guys did hang out.
yeah, we did.
that's
We
fair.
did meet up. So
Yeah.
slowly changing, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
How you been, man?
I've been okay, you know.
Been
I've been this weekend's been a bit like on the ropes, but you know, we move. We
Yeah.
move. I think yeah, I think I've been mostly fine. I've just been going through my week, you know. Been a little existential, kind of trying to think, oh, what do I want to do in my life and shit. It's just it's that thought always comes around, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, what am I doing? Like, and you know,
You know, funny enough, I was having the same crisis this morning. And I went out for a long walk and I took a journal with me and I just wrote shit down.
and that helped.
Well,
No,
not really. To be frank, it's some pussy
that
shit.
shit
but-
was.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't write it down as like a
Yeah.
journaling thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wrote
yeah.
down like, okay, let me clearly identify the things that I really want in my life right now.
Yeah,
Like, and I wrote down like 4 main things, which is one of them was like focus on this creative thing
yeah,
fully.
yeah.
Like I really wanted to take off because
Me
I
too, bro.
I was looking at our YouTube numbers and it kind of saddened me a bit,
Bro.
And I was like, whatever, it's work in progress.
Yeah, also-
but then I was like,
also,
we're
dude,
also 3 years in, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
no. Okay. Once again. We say we're 3 years in. We're 3 years into content. We're not 3 years into taking it serious.
That's what I'm.
That's
That's
what it
the
is.
part that I was.
Yes,
Thinking about.
yes, and but think about it this way, and this is how I like to look at it, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have to be serious.
Yeah.
I think I need to take this shit seriously. Okay. I need momentum to continue, like, doing things. Like there has to be like a ball rolling, because
Yeah.
once the ball stops, I'll stop. I think that's something I've learned about myself.
Yeah.
So, and that requires me to just start. So you know.
Yeah.
So but anyway.
Yeah, so I was just identifying a bunch of things that, like, job was one thing. Then there was also like personal blockers where I feel like things within myself
Yeah.
that I
Same.
kind of pick out and hinder myself. And that kind of got me segued into like, okay, if I want to get into the creative space, I got to get good at certain things. So I know I can't focus on more than 2 things. 2 is my max in terms of trying to learn something new. I wouldn't even say, I'm being optimistic when I say 2. It's probably 1. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for
say
real.
2 for the sake of it, just because it's like gives me a bit more comfort. Like I can
Yeah.
have some flexibility.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, do I put both my skill points into a creative, into my creative tree, or do I put one into like fucking logic?
what are the 2 things that you want to learn?
Well, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's like you can learn 2 things,
Yes.
but like there's the
what are those 2 things?
Well,
do
okay,
I put 2 things
that's
into
fair,
like
yeah.
video and audio and get
Yeah.
really good at that?
Yeah.
Or do I want to do
you know-
video and then
Do you know what?
coding
Like,
so I can play both sides?
Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because with the video, like, first of all, I'm going to get a PC.
No, I'm just
and
saying. I'm
going
just
to do
using
it.
that as an example.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
like
using
if
as an
it
example.
was to be video,
Yeah.
you are naturally learning that through
Yeah, I know,
editing.
I know.
So this is a great opportunity
Yeah.
for you at the moment. The fact that you have a good chance to just learn.
Yeah.
And you can do your own stuff on the side. So, you know,
Yeah.
I get the conundrum though, because you're like, because even when you're learning it all, it's like, fuck, I don't know.
There's so much.
Yeah,
there's so much fucking
shit.
much to learn.
And like when I'm learning for my 9 to 5, like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't want that life, you know? But at the same time, like, don't get me wrong, it's my fault. I'm not doing anything about it, you know? So it is me, but
Yeah.
it does feel like in the world that we live in, it's very tailored to push us in that direction, no matter what you do. Everything in this world requires consistent income, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not living in a let's help each other society. We're living in a very individualistic society where everything requires money, you know?
Yeah.
So in a way, I think it's completely valid to be frustrated at the world we're living in rather than it being inward, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's always like a rhetoric of like, do it yourself, get out there, do it. But it's like, why don't we look at the system that's set up and try and at least critique that? Because if you don't critique it, it's never gonna change. You're just accepting this shit, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't change in your lifetime, but if you critique it enough, you're contributing to some type of change for the future. So maybe it doesn't have to be that way for other people, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm okay with complaining about.
It is ironic though. Like you would think people that kind of make it out of the system and start making income for themselves, once they reach that point, they actually lose the voice to be able to speak
Yeah,
about
they do.
Because they're like, what the fuck do you know? You're
Yeah.
privileged now.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like, well,
Well, I've made it out of this. So
exactly.
I'm trying
So
to tell you.
I
lot,
know
like,
how
yeah.
to talk
Yeah,
about
like,
certain
yeah,
things. And
yeah.
I don't know.
This is the
It
thing,
feels...
if I did make it out, like if I did make it out, I
Yeah.
think it would give you. It's weird. It's very Black Mirror-esque. Like the episode of Black Mirror where the guy,
first
the
one.
first one, yes,
Yep.
that one. It's very much like that.
It is,
where,
yeah.
Where you get out of it, but the only way you can really live is by playing into it still.
Exactly.
You know,
And I think
Like-
that's kind of the conclusion most people reach is like, we have our qualms with the system.
Yeah.
But voicing it doesn't get us anywhere. So
Yeah.
either we play along with it
Yeah.
and get ourselves a good position,
Yeah.
or we get fucked over by
Yeah.
it.
However, I think there is a middle ground that I like to reach. If I ever make it out and I'm living sort of being able to live on my own income without having to rely on somebody else.
Yeah.
I think I'd use my voice to critique the fact that I had to do it, you know? Like the fact that we have to do this as people, that's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll use my platform to push out, not to push out like, oh, you wanna get out of this, grind, work hard, hustle. Like fuck that shit. I'd say no, it's okay that you're frustrated. We shouldn't be living in a world like this anyway. We are because of some evil white dudes at the top.
I think that's
That's
more of like comfort rather than like a sense of direction. I think
Well,
when people like look at content, they want a sense of direction. Like point me towards a way where I can break out of this.
Direction, bottom line,
There
I
isn't
think
one.
There is a bottom line. It's hard work and working on your mental blocks.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Work hard and work on your mental. I think
But that's what people
that's
preach.
that's
at
the
end of
bare bones advice you're gonna get from everybody. I think
Yeah.
people just want to hear it in different ways until it clicks in their brain so they can do something.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't want to be that person. It's like that's almost us being in the first episode of Black Mirror where we've gotten out of it and now we're just preaching to other people on how to get out of it so they can just play into the same thing.
Yeah,
It's like-
that's what I was saying earlier, where it's like all you can at the end of the day really do is critique, unless you reach such a massive like critical mass point where you're able to tilt the scales because you own a company and you can set standards
Yeah.
in an industry and
yeah,
start
yeah,
changing
I
shit
know.
that way.
And
know?
it is weird. You kind of have to play the game to get out the game. But
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'd use.
It's politics.
Yeah,
It's
it
how
is,
politics fucking works. You know.
I'd want to use if I had my own platform. Like if this took off and then I could branch off and have my own play space. I'd want my own space if I was a streaming or whatever. And
Yeah.
Whatever I'd say, I'd always say like. We don't have to live in a world like this if we all collectively agree that this is bullshit.
I think
You know?
that's
like
I think we've reached a point where the fucking mechanism is like choking people out to the
Yeah,
point
yeah.
where they can't even afford to
Yeah.
deviate from it. Like they can't afford to break
they-
out and
they can't.
have a moment
They-
to protest.
They can't. However, I think there's a point at which we're gonna get fed up. Like I think we're actually reaching that place.
Yes.
Things are getting worse and worse and worse as a result of where we're in. You know, we are in full 100% like late stage capitalism and people just people at the top just want more and more money and they're going to try and extract that from us, but they don't want to pay us more.
Bro,
You know, what's the outcome of that?
you know the Indomie noodles?
Yeah,
Like the one singular
yeah,
pack.
yeah.
What do you remember it costing in Tesco?
Like a pound or less, right? Like less than a
It was
pound.
less than that.
Like 80p,
I think it was 75p.
75p. Yeah, yeah,
It's £1.10 now.
yeah. Do you see?
For one.
Do you see how these
For
motherfuckers are
one
just
80
playing with us?
gram packet of instant ramen.
Think
is
about the calories in
£1.10.
that shit, bro.
What
That's like
even?
200-300 calories. Hopefully,
This is
Well,
our
yeah,
version of
yeah.
locker room talk.
Yeah, exactly,
Basically. We're not talking about women. We talk about fucking politics.
The political and economic state
socio-economic-
of the world, bro.
Yes,
That's
sir.
for real.
Jaden Smith was right. We
He
clowned
was
him.
right. We
It's
clowned the
always
guy.
these people that get clowned on that always have something meaningful to say.
I'll be
really.
real, right? That I watched a video on TikTok, right? And this is where we can actually get into the podcast.
Yeah.
On meme retrospective, something like that. Like
Uh-huh.
where so many memes tend to have a point where we don't even look at the fucking main part. We notice another part of the meme, and that becomes a meme in itself. You know? The Jaden Smith clip, right? I feel like now it's past that. When I look at that Jaden Smith clip, it's funny, but I kind of just find it funny. You know, I don't. What he's saying, I'm like, I'll be real. You had a point. You know,
yeah.
You really got to be caring about this shit.
Yeah.
What the meme is fucking Big Boy. The interviewer, the way he reacted to fucking Jaden.
Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
No, I don't actually.
Bro, do you remember that shit, bro? He was like, bro, get your phone out and see it, bro. You can show the people. That's the real meme of that clip, man. Jaden Smith actually saying that.
Yeah.
Shit was funny and it was corny as shit, but he did have a point. He had a point. Well, actually,
And
that's
look-
what he sounds
I
like.
go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age, and they're just kind of just.
He's trying to
that-
fit in so hard.
That's the real meme, bro.
That's the real
That's
meme.
the real meme.
That's
And
I'm
we're
trying
all-
to seem like he knows what's up.
That's
Bro.
that's the boomers trying to get on with the Gen Z kids, you know, like
For real.
That's
to be
the
fair,
real
you-
meme of it, man.
That in itself is like a mockery of something that existed back then. You know,
Yeah.
motherfuckers did speak like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's a very meta meme. Very meta meme. I did see another clip of him like when he was even younger. I think he was doing promo for Karate
Kid?
Yeah, I think Karate Kid. Or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I do remember it was when he was really young, isn't it?
Yeah, when he was like youngish and he's wearing a hat in the interview. And the interviewer's like talking to him about just like what he does in his spare time. And he's like, yeah, I've been reading a lot and, it's just hard with kids my age. Like I can't really talk to them about books and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Recently
Yeah,
I read The
yeah,
Alchemist
yeah.
and it was just
Yeah,
it was
bro.
profound. And The Alchemist is like the most is such a simple book to read. And he's like,
also, what are you doing reading The Alchemist?
yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
8,
And
bro,
he's
do
like,
something.
yeah, I read The Alchemist, and most people I talked about it
Yeah.
didn't really understand it. They
Yeah.
read it as a surface level thing,
Yeah.
but I'm smarter. I understood like the deeper meaning behind. I was like, this
Bro,
dude
shut the
loves
fuck-
glazing
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Loves glazing
Bro.
himself.
Also, do you know what? I'd like to bring this up. Can we just? It's okay for a kid to be a fucking kid. Yo.
Yes,
You know,
Yes.
it's okay for a kid to just be a kid.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all this crazy shit. You don't have to be the first kid to solve a Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds. You don't have to be reading books every day. Go outside and just have the most dumbest conversations with your friends. Make up with them, break up with them. Just be a child. That's how you learn.
That's not even my
know?
problem. Like him trying to be smart at that age, whatever, that's a personal preference. That in itself is trying to be a kid.
Yeah.
And he's doing his own thing. What I hate is motherfuckers that grown ass adults
Yeah.
clowning on this kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, get a fucking job. What are you doing? And it's easy to do because you're thinking you're the only person contributing as like a single entity towards this. Like,
But
oh,
you're not, man.
he's not gonna
Yeah.
see my comment,
Yeah.
But it's like, well, there are fucking 10,000 other
Yeah,
motherfuckers
exactly.
like you saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's
Of course the kid's gonna get affected.
For real. Yeah.
And that's what I hate. Because what annoyed me recently was the Justin Bieber meme.
Oh yeah.
You don't know I'm standing on business. It's funny.
Are you not clocking? Are you not clocking that I'm standing on business?
It's funny as a standalone thing, but
Yeah.
if you look at the history behind this
Bro.
guy and how much he's had to fucking put up with
I'll
paparazzi
be
since
real,
a young
yeah.
age,
Like, I'll be real, yeah.
leave him alone.
Yeah, like I have sympathy with Justin Bieber. Yes, bro is clearly. I mean, he looks pretty drugged up to me.
Yeah.
He looks like he's going through it, and I hope that him and his family manage to figure that out and whatever. I don't know that, but what we do know is how the paparazzi is treating this dude. How in the actual fuck anybody could comment underneath the video of him being like, oh, he should be grateful.
That's what I'm
Should
saying.
be
bro.
grateful.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Are you fucking dumb? What happened to us hating paparazzi?
these guys were literally like, oh, they made you. Your career is because of them. How are you being
Shut the
ungrateful? What do you
fuck
mean,
up, bro? He's just like
They were
Dude.
snapping pics of a little kid. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all they were fucking doing.
You're
some
anyone
grass.
who discriminates on anything, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Would you be like you should be more concerned if your kid
Discrimination,
becomes a
knock it off.
paparazzi? Yeah. Okay, we're
Yeah.
quoting.
We're quoting C. Diddy.
Yeah. That's crazy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine, you know. Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes pedophiles say some valid shit.
Yes. Yeah. That's actually wild, bro. No, I don't agree with that at all.
Well, no, I
was-
mean, I'm
what
sure
the
at
fuck?
some point in their life they've said something sensible.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
fair. Yeah.
Just because they're pedophile doesn't mean if a pedophile quoted like a really famous philosopher, people aren't going to stop listening to that philosopher. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, in that sense,
Anyways,
can you do?
we're back to ranting.
We're back. Yeah, we're just
We-
we're hating on the world.
We're
right now.
frustrated. We're frustrated.
We're
you
hating
know?
on the world.
We're frustrated. The source started our dreams and it ended at fuck the world.
Yeah.
You know,
It's because the world was.
that's what's
Fucking
stopping
over
us from
our dreams.
achieving us.
That's how we got here. That's how we got here.
But yeah. Well, on a lighter note,
Yeah.
the Gorilla AI podcast videos, bro.
You love that shit.
I can't lie, like
You love that shit.
I've not liked the way AI is being used.
Yeah.
But that shit has been the funniest thing to come out of it, man. Just watching a gorilla and a lion just speak to each other on a like, it's stuff that would take so much time, and this is where I see the benefit to AI, where you have to convince people that your idea is good,
Yeah.
and they have to do it. But the people you need to convince to get something like that out
Are greedy
would be
motherfuckers.
greedy motherfuckers who would only look at the profit of it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
You'd have to convince a studio or something. But AI will allow you to just bring that to life. So from a creative standpoint, I do understand that AI can be used for good things. But the thing is, the problem here is these motherfuckers who are making this content are greedy. And
Yes.
they're already selling courses on how you can make this content and you can make as much money as them, which is ironic because why would they need to sell a course if they're already making money from it?
It is
You know?
interesting. Like, I feel like recently every new bit of technology creates its own bubble,
Yeah.
like a mini financial crisis
Yeah.
within itself. When fucking crypto was blowing up,
Bro,
that did the same
people
thing.
are still
NFTs,
doing crypto scams, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, people are ride or die about scams. People still do email scams.
It's wild.
Who the fuck is replying to a Nigerian prince on Gmail?
Yeah.
Nobody. Maybe like someone that's 50.
Yeah, but that's what they're targeting.
Yeah,
50
I
year olds.
know, but I'm just saying.
These
like,
men have a target audience.
people will keep trying to rinse the same scan, hoping someone falls for it. But what I'm saying is, like, technologically, it feels like there are these almost. It's not even a scam. It's literally like they're buying into the hype,
yeah,
which
yeah.
inflates the value of the thing, and then it just all comes crashing
Yeah,
down.
it does. Yeah,
And that's what they're trying to do with AI now.
Yeah.
After NFTs and cryptos, it's just like, yo, there's this tool. Go crazy with it. We'll show you how to go crazy with it. Pay us money, you know.
and the money they're charging is extortionate, bro.
They can
Bro,
charge whatever because
bro,
people that are
yeah.
desperate will pay for
Dude.
it.
AI, like the it's a digital service, bro. It doesn't cost. Bottom line, they really don't need to be charging as much as they do.
Yeah, no,
they're
no.
making a big profit.
But
on
the
this
thing
shit.
is, most people are so ignorant about AI
yeah, they
that
are.
they just feel like, oh, this is some next gen tech. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's going to be $1,000.
It's not, bro. This entire podcast is low key going a bit conspiracy theory.
This, you know what I feel like? What's that show? Hellbound.
yeah,
In Hellbound, there's the propaganda guy that's like a
Yeah, yeah.
fanatic and he's always preaching about some shit.
yeah,
I feel like that.
yeah. But
We're just like, wake up.
break
up
from the shackles of this society. We're probably the more sane versions of that dude, you know?
Yeah, I feel like
we'd be
we're
speaking
but we're
facts.
like 2 steps away from that.
Yeah.
We're like 2 bad events away
Anarchy.
from like going
To just
crazy.
straight anarchy.
Yeah, just being like, yeah, fuck it, destroy everything, just tear it all down.
I did have a lot saved on the MYT thing. We could probably go through one of those.
On the
On
file,
the reel,
on the
yeah.
folder.
Real, yeah.
Let's see. I do remember writing down something I saw in McDonald's though, which was a funny little thing that I saw. Oh yeah. So I was coming back from Tyler concert, in fact. So Tyler concert. Did we mention it on the podcast?
We went to see Tyler. I mean,
We did.
That's,
he
that's about
came
it,
to the
yeah.
UK. We went to see him. On the way back, you know how the O2 gets. The fucking rush is crazy to go towards central London, like Paddington area, because that's where all the trains connecting different regions go. So I get on the tube. That shit is packed to the brim. Nobody has space to move. People are complaining like, yo, I don't... And they're just literally shouting from behind each other like, hey, can you move a bit? And it's like, lady, I don't have space to move.
I can't move, bro.
You know? And that was a whole thing. Like, I've never been claustrophobic, but for the first time in my life, I felt like I couldn't breathe standing there. So I literally had to get the fuck out of the train. Anyway, that was a side story.
Yeah.
So I get back home and I'm walking from the station to our house, and on the way I'm a bit hungry, so I stop into
McDonald's.
a place.
Okay.
A place.
A restaurant.
And yes, a burger joint.
Yes.
And I go in there and I order my food and I'm just waiting. And at this hour, this is like fucking 2 a.m. Almost close to 2 a.m. It's just the weirdest people
Yeah, man.
in there.
Bro.
And I get scared for the staff on behalf of the staff.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys actually have to deal with them if they act up. You know, so I'm praying they don't. There's just this tall, big motherfucker. He reminds me of Lenny from Mice and Men.
Yeah.
He's built like that. He's built like that.
Yeah.
And he's moving like him too.
Yeah.
He's like really sluggish. I can tell he's drunk. His eyes are like this. And he's standing next to the ketchup machine. And I'm just kind of listening to my music, waiting for my order. And from the corner of my eyes, I can see him like fiddling around. And I look over and bro is just hard pressing the ketchup machine onto his fingers. He's lathering each finger individually
Oh my god.
with ketchup. He just has it like putting his pinky.
Oh my god, bro.
He
What did he do after that?
just kept his hand like that. He didn't even lick it. He didn't do any. His hand was literally just dripped.
Let
in
me tell
sauce.
you, that would scare the actual shit
I
out of me.
was like,
I would be so scared in that moment.
that's what reminded me of Lenny, because I'm like, he looks kind of harmless, but I think there's something's
yeah, he
not right.
could actually do some
Something's
shit, bro.
not right. If I move too quickly, he
Yeah.
might just like spot me and fucking run at me, bro. I was like, what?
Oh my god.
What is he doing? And I looked forward and the guy who was like prepping orders up was just like in disbelief. He kind of just stood there. He had the look where it was like, I've seen shit like this before,
Yeah.
but it's like, it still surprises me every time.
You know what? You're probably thinking, I ain't getting paid enough for this for real. Like,
That's exactly what he was thinking for sure.
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit.
He's like, I can't wait to clock the fuck out, man. This shit, late night shift sucks.
Bro, and not even for the employee. Dude, the security has to get him out there. I would dread. I feel so bad for those guys.
Bro, security was... I don't even know what that guy was doing. He was looking me up and down. I was like, I'm the only sober one here.
he's that's probably why he was looking up now. He's like,
what are you
fuck,
doing here,
man?
bro?"
Like, bro, just leave. Like,
He's
get out
just
of
counting
here.
on me to
Yeah.
intervene.
He's like, please, bro, please. You're the only one who can do
I can't do this. No solo mission. Please, come on, man.
Because it's not like they hired the most muscly motherfuckers as
No.
security.
This dude was like...
These man look just as out of it as the
This
fucking-
dude was like 5'5".
Yeah.
He was just a 5'5" guy in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm thinking
The
like
security guard, not the guy spraying his hands with fingers.
I'm thinking, how would you even go about getting a dude putting ketchup on his hands out of the store? I wouldn't be like, yo, bro, you gotta get out. Like, what would he might just strike you.
I think that's literally it. That's all you can do is just tell him to leave. And if he doesn't leave, you're like, well, all right.
I'll call the police. I guess that's where you get the police involved.
He's the security guard.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all you can do, really.
Yeah, that's all you can really do.
Like,
But what the fuck is the police going to do anyway? I feel like someone that big, he can just tackle anyone.
yeah, because they don't have the most built motherfuckers in the police to either.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, thanks for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, like, subscribe, notifications on. All right,
And
Do all
follow
that
us on
shit,
Spotify.
yeah. Follow us on Spotify. We drop audio podcasts on there. Follow us on socials at the MYT Pod on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Yeah, man. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, same time next week. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.